Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video. I hope everyone enjoyed a blessed and Merry Christmas, although I know some fans across the valley had last night spoiled thanks to another embarrassing defeat from the Phoenix Suns. Now, this has been an emerging pattern for the Phoenix Suns. As the past few games, it's not looked good. And I, being a diehard fan, am always optimistic. I like to see the bright side in very turbulent situations, and I think that's just pretty much due to bias. But even I have to admit, it's starting to be close to the panic button. Because not only have we just had a bad stretch these few games, we are just not looking good in general. And this is a team that we put all the chips on the table. And that's really the problem. Okay, this team has a load of expectations. We're supposed to be cream of the crop. And here we are, not even in the play-in tournament. We look pathetic. It's bad. And many fans are wondering, it's like, what is the problem with this team? I mean, how can you go wrong with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker? People are saying maybe the KD trade was not worth it or this and that. And don't even get me started on Bradley Beal, because this issue stems way further than Bradley Beal not being on the court. Because just his absence should not cause such terrible basketball being played. And this is, again, the expectations of this team. Kevin Durant and D Book. And you can barely scrounge up a victory over the Washington Wizards? The Wizards? A team that was 4-20. And we made Daniel Gafford and Tyus Jones look like prime Kobe and Shaq? That is ridiculous. It's pathetic. It was embarrassing to watch. I didn't even count that as a win. I mean, you'll hear the saying that a win is a win no matter how you get it. Bullshit. That was a god-awful win. It was really a loss. I think morally, it was a loss. That we had a fight tooth and nail over the Washington Wizards. And then the game before that, Jalen Brunson. Look, I like Jalen Brunson. He's a great player. He's an amazing player. 50 points? 50 points he dropped on us. And this is this Frank Vogel's defense? I mean, I don't see the defense. I don't see this stellar new scheme that is, big old rim protector and scrappy defense causes championships. Okay, well, I haven't seen shit. We look like a bunch of sixth graders guarding out there. You know what it reminds me of? This whole team in general looks like we're playing a pickup game. On both sides of the ball, it looks like it's just a pickup game. And, people are trying to figure out what the problem is. Is it KD? Is it Devin Booker? Is it just Bradley Beal's absence? It's none of those, okay? Kevin Durant, Devin Booker are playing just fine. They're playing like we're supposed to, like they are supposed to. And even though Booker had an off game, he'll have his off games every now and then. But this problem stems further than just Devin Booker having an off game. We have got no one else to rely on. I mean, this bench, I like some of these pieces we brought in. I liked Eric Gordon. I like, Watanabe. I thought some of the perimeter shooters were very good, but we did too much. Metu he's come a long way. Nasir Little, their defense is very good. None of these guys are translating to buckets on the court. That's why you see Devin Booker and Kevin Durant on the court damn near the whole game. And it's ridiculous. We can't score any points without our two main stars. Who's getting the efficient buckets that we need? That, we used to rely on Campaign. Trading Campaign was a bad idea. I know we needed the picks. We were desperate for picks. But come on. You can't get rid of Campaign. And then we brought in Jordan Goodwin to replace him. Okay, Jordan Goodwin had a good tenure in the Summer League, but the Summer League is filled with 9-to-5 workers. Okay? Two different things here. Campaign has proven. Campaign is a guy who could give you 20 off the bench. He was a ball handler. Let me emphasize the word ball handler. Nobody else knows how to do that on our team. Devin Booker is not a true point guard. Bradley Beal is not a true point guard. And Lord knows Kevin Durant is not a true point guard. The dude turns over the ball like he's giving out Christmas presents. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And that's not a shot at KD. That's not what he does. We know what he does, and he does it very well. But first of all, that's what our team is lacking. In players, that's what our team lacks. How we fix that? I don't even, at this point, I don't even know if turning to the trade deadline is some major consolation. Because first of all, what do we even have to give up? We've got no picks, no depth, nothing. We have really risked it all for that big three, and one of them can't even see the court to save his life. Bradley Beal, played one game with this big three, and the dude can't stay healthy. And that was a roll of the dice because you know he had injury problems to begin with. And that was just a huge roll of the dice. I like Bradley Beal. I really do. But one of the things I said when we got him, or even before when we were rumored that we were pursuing him, does he fit in with a basketball team? Or specifically our basketball team? And let me clarify what I mean by that. I've used this analogy before. But when you've got a smoothie, you don't take your favorite foods and blend it up. That's disgusting. It doesn't make a smoothie. You need the right ingredients for a smoothie. Then you blend it up. Now you got a smoothie. Or whatever analogy you want to use. Okay, you need the right ingredients. And when I watch a team like the Denver Nuggets and what they did last year, I saw basketball like I've never seen basketball be played before. Purely, fundamentally sound basketball. And why teams don't look at that and say that's what we need to do, it blows me away. Because I watched the Nuggets and how their team was, and it was perfection. They were a well-oiled machine, and they wouldn't be stopped. That's why they won. And we just don't have that. We don't have a fundamentally sound team. This is why Devin Booker struggles to get the shots he wants. We've got nowhere else to go with the ball. If KD's and Book's double team mid-range shots don't go in, well, there goes our points. Because we've got nothing else to turn to. And, Luka's going to do his thing. He's going to drop his insane amount of points. He's one of the toughest players to guard in the NBA. I mean, look at the stats this guy puts up. Who on that team, who on the Dallas Mavericks, other than Luka Doncic, is going to be putting up production enough to blow us out? Nobody on that team. Kyrie Irving wasn't even in. And they made a fool out of us. And again, I'm always optimistic. So when the Suns brought in Frank Vogel, I was behind the move. I'm behind every decision they make. But this defense that he's supposed to bring in, I don't see it. I just don't see it. I mean, we let so many guys on open threes. Like, we just forgot how to play fundamentally sound basketball. And that's really it. This is not Bradley Beal being injured. This is not, Kevin Durant not having his production. I hate that argument because Kevin Durant is playing just fine. The thing we're missing is pure basketball. A good offense. Structure. And unfortunately, that happens when you don't have a point guard. Okay? I know I don't like making that argument as well because people, you traded Chris Paul. Why'd you trade Chris Paul then? Well, Chris Paul needed to go. Okay? It was time for him to go. I still say to this day, that you should have gotten rid of Chris Paul. And I'm glad we did. I loved him, but it was time for him to go. Now, instead of Bradley Beal, maybe a guy like Terry Rozier would have been nice. A guy who will get buckets and find proper spacing, set guys up on a dime. It just do the things a point guard. There's a reason why basketball has a point guard. So the two things we're lacking. Structure, and that starts with the point guard, and then this bench. We have got no efficient bucket getters off the bench. I want to look at the stats and just see the underwhelming production off that bench compared to other teams. And I say again, who is getting the buckets? You know, Yuta, he's a great three-point shooter. These guys are great role players. You know, Kogi is, his defense is amazing. Eric Gordon, he's good. Grayson Allen. Which one of these guys are getting efficient buckets like Cam Payne was? Nobody. Not a single person on that bench. And that's where the problem stems from. And I don't like to press the panic button because then you're like every other one of these schmucks who call themselves a fan when they're really not. They abandon their team as soon as shit hits the fan. And I hate that. But it's looking bad. And I don't even know if the trade deadline can fix that. It's just not looking good. I mean, we still got a long ways to go for this season. There's always a streak. There's always this or that. But this needs to get figured out ASAP. And there's some internal things that's going on with that team. You know, Frank Vogel, again, I'm always optimistic. I'll go to the grave with the Frank Vogel decision just because we made it and there's no use in complaining about it. But we got to be real and face the facts. His head is going to be the first to roll if we don't make the playoffs. So, we'll see. I guess, this time will tell. Well, that's going to be it. I hope everyone had a great Christmas and a happy New Year. Thank you, and have a good rest of your day.